Hello and welcome. I'm Marianne Steele from the Printing Charity, and I'm joined here today by my colleague, Sam Nelson, also from the Printing Charity, who is responsible for our Rising Star Award programme. Who will talk to everyone about the training and development work that he does with people who work in our industry. I'm also joined today by Gary Bagstaff of Print Source, Managing Director of Print Source, and he'll be talking to us about how we work together and the sorts of things that his staff are doing on training and development, as well as the wellbeing support that we provide. And Linda Edwards from the British Signs and Graphic Association, and she'll be talking to everyone about the work that they do and how they support people in the industry. So collectively, we're all here today to talk about how we support people who work across our wide and varied industry. Behind me are just some of the things that we do as a charity. People may not be familiar with every aspect of the work that we do. And so if there's anybody here who wants to know more, I'm here today, and my colleagues are here today. We're very happy to talk to you about all of our support services. So we'll kick off with Gary. Gary, thank you for joining us here today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Gary, can you just tell us about how long you've worked with Printing Charity and the sorts of things, the sorts of support we provide to your employees on the side?
Yeah, I think we signed up maybe 3 years ago through Sam. I think we were sort of getting to the back end of COVID, and staff welfare was sort of higher up my agenda, to be honest. So it was something that I wanted to look into. I think maybe I met Sam at an awards or a sign show or something like that, and then went back and thought, yeah, I need to look into this. This sounds really good. So yeah, had a chat with Sam and then signed up and got all the information and the leaflets and the helpline numbers and all those sorts of things. So I've made sure that I've put that information onto our staff notice board, just so staff know that you're there for them. Basically, it's not for me, it's for them. So I make sure that what it is sent across, they get to see. They know that yeah, they're there. You're fighting their corner if they need anything from you. So I think that's the least I can do, really.
And it's a nice support for you to have so that you can get on with your day job as well, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely that.
Yeah. In terms of learning and development, training and development, learning and development, are there other things that we are able to do that you are familiar with, that you've used our Rising Star Grant training?
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't used it as yet. I should have, but I definitely will be putting in a couple of applications for it this year. Just I think laziness on my part maybe in the past, but going forward, I'll definitely be putting some applications in, because I think the award and what you do with the funding for training is very important. And why wouldn't I put my staff in for that? It's not costing the company anything, and it's going to help them to progress in their career.
Exactly. That's great. Thank you very much for that.
No,
We're going to be talking to Sam in a little bit about the sorts of things that that we get involved in and sorts of things that he does. So if you've got any questions specifically around that grant funding, the Rising Star Awards,
Yeah.
it might be useful to question Sam on that
I will do,
when
yeah.
we're talking to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. So Sam, coming on to sorry,
Thank you.
coming on to you. How important is training development for individuals? How do you support and work with individuals?
Well, firstly, I was hoping that one of our rising stars would be here today to talk about how important it is for them and how it's been transformational for them. But unfortunately, the allotted person was unwell, so you've got me instead. Apologies for that. Well, in my experience, it's important for individuals and for the business. Firstly, really for the employer, an employer that invests in their staff and invests in developing their people gets collaborative workforces, loyal workforces. They get a more skilled workforce naturally, and it really fosters a sense of community and ownership. And actually, I've got some words from last year's CIPD's Good Work Index, which found that facilitating skills development for employees is strongly linked to employees' intention to stay in the company. Providing development opportunities is one of the strongest predictors of employee job satisfaction, motivation, and a lower intention to leave. And obviously bringing new skills into a business can give that business a competitive advantage. And Gary, you said it was laziness on your part. I think we all know how busy life is and running a business is. And I think that, acknowledging that it's there and then saying, let's make a plan to look at this with people is part of the battle, because you make that commitment. On the individual side, for me, it's very much about value and needs. And sort of, if you invest in people, people feel valued, they feel trusted, they feel wanted and needed, and they strive with the business to become better and help everything become better. And once again, so research from UK government indicates that there's a clear link between learning and development and levels of well-being and confidence. So plus people feel more adaptable and ready for change when they're invested in. So all those are great reasons to get involved. One of our rising stars, not the one that was supposed to be here, but another one that I spoke to about this, and is actually already in a relatively senior position as head of service to delivery at City Post, won an award. And she said that even in a senior position, I don't believe learning should ever stop. Especially in an industry like print that is constantly evolving. And for her, ongoing training isn't about filling gaps. It's about staying ahead, having the knowledge and the power to be more informed, and supporting the team better. So doing continuous development makes sure that not only is she experienced, but she's also relevant for everything going on at the time. So sort of as a synopsis, I think learning is important throughout everyone's career. And I think it's jointly beneficial for the individual and the business.
Absolutely. Do you have any questions that you want to ask specifically of Sam?
Yeah, just checking, Sam. So when their applications open for the awards?
Good question. Applications open on 2nd of March, which is the coming Monday, and they're open until the 29th of March, which is actually a Sunday, so people can have that last weekend, but we encourage people to do it sooner, obviously. And I suppose might as well, this is a good time to give a quick rundown of how the awards work. So the awards are open to anyone aged 18 to 35 in any role in our supported industries. The prize is up to £1,500 for their training and development. It's an application process, not a nomination process. So it's about getting that individual, looking at their career, where they want to go, what their skills gaps are, identifying training that can fill those, and then getting ready to put an application in. And that's why we get that nice block of a few weeks to look at that.
Is there a maximum number of applications that a company can put forward?
There isn't a maximum number of applications. So if you've got 10 eligible people can apply. What we are seeing is much more awareness about the awards and really good preparation from people. So it's becoming more competitive. So it's really about getting the individual to understand their journey, where they want to go, and identify training that will really help them.
Ask question, sorry.
That's all right.
Lots of thoughts. Is there any sort of limits or sort of specific industry? Sorry, that's not right. Are there any limitations on where that training money can be spent?
Limitations, I suppose there are limitations in what you could spend it on in theory, but in terms of the training, it's about the individual choosing training that they can see will help them in their next steps.
Okay.
And explaining why they want to do this and telling that story. The limitation is up to £1,500. And then really it's about finding training that is going to help them in their professional role. So sort of not side ideas and hobbies. It's about really that core professionalism.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering, for example, could that money be spent with Colin for some coaching, maybe for a staff member, or could it be spent with, one of the wrap companies that offer training for vehicle wrapping and that sort of thing?
I mean, yes, it's all about context, really. So we are provider agnostic. So we don't point out providers, but what we do provide is details of the kind of courses that people have chosen in the past.
Okay.
And so in theory, if you're talking about coaching for maybe confidence, communication, soft skills, which we absolutely love, then yeah, that would be very relevant. I guess within that, what we're sort of looking at is maybe if you've got I guess it's not to stand in the shoes of the business. So if you've got a frontline salesperson, perhaps, then naturally they would be undertaking things like sales training and communications training.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've got someone who has a huge aspiration to get into that side of things, but is maybe in more of an administrative role, we understand that businesses can't just invest in every bit of training that everyone would like. We'd love it if they could, but that might be something that they would look at to show you, their senior leader, that they're ready to take that step. And it also gives you a bit more trust in them perhaps doing that.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
There is lots more information on our website as well, explaining all of that.
Thank you for asking those questions. Thank you. And just to clarify, can we just mention how many people we actually did award last year?
Yes, we had 78 winners last year, which we were very pleased about, and really, really high quality people who really understood the ethos of the awards and really showed that they want to move in the industry.
Thank you for that. What does it, so just come down to the individuals now. I know that we were going to have a Rising Star winner here talking about their own personal experience, their journey and what it meant to them as an individual. Can you give us some little sound bites of what people have said about what it meant to them to win the award money, how it's helped them progress in their career?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, speaking to a couple of people, and actually it goes back into, Gary, this soft skills and this, it's not just about the learning that they do, it's about what it means to them. So we had a winner called Daryl, and Daryl applied, and when he applied, he was an account relationship manager. And then since winning his award, he's become a junior client strategist, and now he's a client strategist. And he did a leadership and management course, even though he wasn't in a position of leading people. And he said that the course really helped him step back and look at how he leads day to day. He became more confident in having honest conversations, setting clear expectations, taking accountability for results, and he started to approach challenges more strategically. So it really highlights how targeting your learning and thinking about what you're going to do can lead to promotion and really use the awards. It also gave him an idea of how important it is to look at your role as part of the business as a whole and part of the industry. So looking at the bigger picture of how you fit into what's going on, and not just thinking about what have I got to complete today, how do I fit in more strategically.
And was there anything around what employers think about the process and the ability for their team to be part of this?
I have an idea that Craig might have some thoughts on that. If Craig would like to step to the stage and bring his own chair.
So the reason I put my hand up there at the back is I was fortunate enough to come along to the awards ceremony last year at the House of Lords, and actually 3 members of the Science Express team were involved in that at very different roles. One junior member on the shop floor who was being groomed through the process of actually becoming a floor manager. You had another member of the team who I would say was the in effect, the production supervisor, and then you had another member of the team who was part of marketing. All of them, to actually see them grow as individuals has been absolutely amazing, because it's the confidence and actually getting them to turn up at a venue like the House of Lords, and to see them come and engage with other business owners, for me, was a real inspirational thing. They wouldn't have done that 12 months ago. So that the process you put them through to actually put themselves forward for the training, and then going through and actually an award at the end of it, it's just wonderful to see youngsters flourishing. So that was just all I wanted to add.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's great.
That's great. I don't want to dwell too much on what we're doing, because I'm conscious that we've got Linda here as well. So, is there
Absolutely.
anything else that you wanted to mention around?
No, I think we covered everything. The most important thing for now is to research the awards on our website, and this year's open on the 2nd of March, and the opportunities there.
Get those applications in. So Linda, thank you for being so patient sitting there waiting. I'd like to know actually, what your job involves in terms of supporting the training and development of individuals who work across our very wide and varied industry. What do you actually do as a BSGA, and how do you support individuals?
What particular initiatives, or an overarching? What would
However
you
you
like?
want to switch, wherever you want to start with it.
Okay, well, I'll give a very brief overview with regards to the association in the first instance. So we are the British Sign and Graphics Association. So we are the trade association that represents our industry. So ultimately, our overarching objective is to be the anchor for our industry, not just individuals and organisations within that, but also that much wider stakeholder community. So we are huge champions, as you know, and advocates of the printing charity, and it's amazing to be able to sit here today and to be able to share our stories. Gary himself is a board director of the association, but also as a very successful business owner who is now able to take on the opportunities that you also offer. So in the very first instance, we champion not only yourselves, but others who are able to provide credible training and education opportunities. So it's not so much about us as an association who perhaps have our own individual portfolio of sessions or opportunities, as it were. It's, for us, it's more about facilitating that for others as well. So who is best placed to provide that training? Who is best placed to provide the support that is required? And that enables us as an association to have that much far reaching, bad English, isn't it? A much wider reaching look and feel about what is available, rather than perhaps a biased on occasion. So if it's with regards to operational skills and initiatives that are required, or if it is down to, as Sam was saying earlier on, with the softer side of things, with coaching and mentoring, or even just the plain and simple information with regards to how one goes from being a school leaver to being able to be supported with our industry to create their own sort of pathway moving forward. Now, as we are all aware, we are an unregulated industry, which is amazing, because that enables us to be a diverse community. There's a few C words that I like, and community is one of those. So we are an incredibly diverse community, which is wonderful. But equally, as we are unregulated, and the diversity of our tribe, what community that time, it can mean that it's very difficult to be able to pitch ourselves with regards to standards, expectations, compliance, and governance. And believe me when I say, myself and my colleagues at the association work incredibly hard to be able to, like I say, set the foundations and provide that anchorage for not just new people who are coming into our world, but also for those of us who perhaps spent slightly longer than we first thought we would within this industry. So it's about championing the value of a career, but it also is about recognizing a career that has been built and what those individual frameworks look like. So we work with government organisation, education providers, and also private organisations that provide those opportunities, that I believe that as an association, if we just provided our own portfolio, that would always be limited. So again, with the idea of the Rising Stars Awards and what have you, how utterly amazing that this resource is available, and we would be ill-advised not to be able to champion that on your behalf also. I think what's certainly what I'd like to share with you all today is the printing charity is also there to support the signage community. And I think sometimes, dare I be so bold, on occasion, that message can be, I'm going to say lost, and that's probably disingenuous, like I say, but I think unfortunately on occasion, there are individuals within the signage world that perhaps are unaware that actually it's a resource and a facility that is available across both industries, dare I say. And we always have that, I was going to say both sober and perhaps not sober on occasion conversations to say sign industry, print industry, they're one of the same, they're million miles apart. Well, ultimately, we are two very separate industries who have transferable skills, knowledge, and information bases, and we are closely linked on so many levels, but equally we are a million miles apart. But this is an opportunity to say this is where we are closely linked. This is an opportunity to say that we are one and all, and that community is actually a much wider community. And it's just such as today, and it's just such as this event as well.
It is indeed. In fact, we cover any kinds of print on anything. So most definitely,
Absolutely.
with signage and packaging companies as well, publishing, paper, anything beginning with a P really, and then signage as well. Gary, do you have anything else that you'd like to add to what we were talking about earlier?
I think something that's worth maybe mentioning is something that I've discovered recently. Our company's been going for 16 years, but only recently sort of come across careers days actually in high school. So I think it might be worth mentioning that, because we've been approached by our local careers office and been asked to go into high schools and give talks to pupils about creative industries in general. And I've found that really rewarding actually, but also beneficial for the industry in general to let young people know that there are these career paths there available for them, and perhaps in industries they haven't considered. The other thing on that is we've now actually started paid work through an organisation called Discover Creative Careers, which is a government-backed initiative to promote creative industries within schools. And I know that is available in Wales, England and Scotland. So the Discover Creative Careers are looking for businesses like signage companies, print companies, graphic designers, photography sort of businesses to go into schools and to give workshops, paid workshops to pupils, free of charge to the school. So that's something we've been doing a little bit of in the last couple of months as well, which has been beneficial. And I would suggest that other small print and sign companies look into that as an option, because it is only going to help grow knowledge of our industry and hopefully keep it going for future generations.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for that, Gary. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, Linda? Sam?
I mean, I was just going to say on the back of Gary's point, almost all of the rising stars that we see give us that message that they didn't realize how brilliant the industry was until they joined it. And I think we're a very collaborative community, but it is sometimes a little bit inward looking around how good is our technology, what's the next thing, and turning it out towards schools and things is huge. So I think that's great, Gary.
Thank you.
We certainly see more and more of the businesses that we work with opening their doors to students from local colleges, universities, and schools as well, and even larger organisations that have the facilities on site, asking their wider business community to come on site and share knowledge and open their doors and have those open sessions, which is great, isn't it? Is there any questions from the floor? Does anybody here have any questions? You've listened to what we've had to say so far. Have we missed anything? Anything that you're desperate to add? Craig? Craig's always got something to say.
Now, I was just going to add on to what Gary mentioned about the schools. I mean, I love the fact that you cover such a broad, from starting to retirement. You're covering the whole broad spectrum. But our industry is relying on fresh blood coming into the sector. I'm constantly staggered that schools, sixth forms, have careers days and we don't even appear on the radar. I've only just recently been asked to attend because I picked up on something on LinkedIn, good old LinkedIn, really. But I had to ask to attend. Now they've asked me back for the second session. I just wonder again if, as associations, as your own printing charity, we could encourage our members to try and actively get involved, or maybe we have to ask and be more proactive with it. You're already doing something with the Print Charity Awards. Again, it's something we need to help and expand the knowledge, if you like. So again, I'd ask your help and everybody's at the show's help to actually kind of to build on that. So it wasn't really a question, it was a statement, sorry.
Yeah, I think we're all very conscious of that, and we're all trying to do everything that we can to encourage exactly that. It's good that we're talking about. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening.